This is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. I'm just gonna kind of get into it because you already know Wayward is about that revenge, redemption, responsibility. You know, people be hitting me up and I'm like, okay. And I told you the last video I was gonna come back, but I just kind of wanted to address it because everybody was kind of flooding, of course, my messages and like, hey, he apologized and da 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 da, right? Talking about Puff Daddy. So I'm under the spell of distraction. So let's talk real and talk right now. So in this universal soul, they have this energy called Cassie, and they sold her, the record company, to Puff Daddy. Okay, so now they flooded the universal soul of media, Fox News, CNN, all of this, blogs about this alleged ass kicking. And I keep telling you, look at the pixels. You guys are subjectively reviewing these frequencies, but you don't understand the background. You don't understand the bullshit. Like I said, all you know is that he's an ass kicker. Not denying that. However, I want to look at some stuff. I want to understand something. So allegedly they had his son come out. Then now today they have him coming out apologizing. I'm like, why are they giving us this old video of his acting skills apologizing to her? Here I fucking go. 99% of the motherfucking women in Hollywood, they're getting their ass kicked. And they're getting their ass kicked all the time. When you heard about Kanye West getting slapped by Jay-Z, what the fuck do you think that is? When you heard about Quincy Jones stomping the fuck out of Michael Jackson, what in the fuck did you think that is? With your subjective thinking asses. That's what I'm talking about with air and fire magic. You people are out there so invested in this story because you love the sensationalism and you want you want his energy to go down. But you don't understand the media and the spell work and the air and fire magic, and when people time is up. And the extent they will go to push out information. How in the fuck all of this is going on and nobody peeping she's Asian? Y'all never looked at her background? They're letting you know who she is. Okay, let's talk. Because you guys, she went to the left. I'm going to go to the right. Let's go. Notice what I said before. Notice he had a baby by an Asian woman. He had the baby by the Asian woman. That's when she came out and said he was whooping her ass. Okay? African American, Mexican, West Indian, and her father is Filipino. Now peep this. They had you with all of this other shit. That means that's what her mother is. But you understand how it goes, right? And with girls, whatever the father is, that's what you are. And if you have a boy, whatever the mother is, that's what you are. That's the game. That's the philosophy, right? Because I'm going to play games for a moment with y'all. So therefore, technically, she's Filipino. So then I had a spiritual constituents who was talking to some of the Filipinos about it, and they're not claiming her. some of them, right? So you have him have a baby by an Asian woman who's hollering abuse. Now they didn't sold this other Asian woman who's Filipino to him. But Kim Porter dead. He was whooping up on Misa. Y'all ain't gave a fuck about that. There's allegations that he was bopping up on Little Kim. Y'all didn't say shit about that. There's allegations that he was bopping up on Mary J. Blige, allegedly. Y'all ain't said shit about that. He done bopped up on a few black women. You ain't said shit about that. Y'all want justice for Casey. Or Cassie. But you forgot. It's a pimps up, hoes down position. Because we're gonna stop playing games right here. And look at the real situation. Since you're fucking distracted. Y'all don't have the same heat. But when he was bopping up on them black women and one is dead, that you do have for this Asian woman. She gone. No. No. You better understand the game's going on. Didn't I tell you? They are a protected class. And anyone and anybody that's messing around with this particular culture of people, you're going to get busted the fuck out. We forgot there's a whole scheme of Asian prostitutes in Hollywood. See, y'all didn't think that. You think them white girls wasn't getting their ass kicked? Hell yeah. They up here, spiritual constituents, are talking about 50 Cent and his background and how he's an ass kicker. People been talking about Jay-Z being an ass kicker. And they been talking about Beyonce was getting her ass kicked. And we're not going to go all the way back to Dr. York and what the fuck was going on in Community. Are we going to go fuck around with the conscious community that you guys follow so much and you don't understand a lot of this shit is birthed out of that? And a lot of the men in the conscious community are women haters? Let's talk about this new frequency of all these motherfuckers getting into Santeria and Ifa and all of that and all the male whoop assers in that. Why are we not talking about a lot of the women who following this cult shit are all fucked up? Oh, I forgot. In my comments, you two worried about me having ham hock arms and me being miserable. Hater bitch. I'm just had to drop that for a moment because they was dropping spell work. Okay. So this right here, when are we going to come up with the realization of what's going on? Because we're just having conversation. Nobody asked questions to Young Miami. Is there a difference between black women getting their ass kicked versus white women and Asians in the media? I'm going to put Latinas in with us. Because nobody cares when black women get their ass kicked. Nobody cares when Latinas get their ass kicked. But in this energy, they gave a fuck. Because some of you say, well, no, but it says she's Mexican. No, she's Filipino. Because it sounds like to me her mother is some kind of Caribbean and they didn't went in her DNA and broke down the DNA. And you have to understand, when they say Afro-American, for me, that means that they're African descent that live in America. Because once they said West Indies or whatever, it makes me think that she's Caribbean, and especially being from Connecticut. That was just a DNA breakdown of her mother because they straight up said her father's Filipino. So I'm going to ride that she's Asian. She's Filipino. How come you guys didn't connect that the big hoodoo was the simple fact that she's an Asian? And they sold that Asian woman to a black man. And they need him to go down the rabbit hole. Are we not seeing the games here? The spell work? Now let's go back to that ass kicking at that hotel. I had people say he might have bought the whole floor. No, he didn't. I had a spiritual constituent man look at the video and say he had on socks and he kicked her pretty hard. That doesn't make sense. I had my son come in here and say, Mom, what was in that bag that he grabbed? Did she try to run out with something? We don't have questions. Because I had the same question. I said, what's in that bag? What did she try to hurry up and take? So then I seen it on CNN, and I seen it on CNN, Entertainment Channel. I'm like, it's still not making sense. They spliced a whole bunch of things together, and then the kicker is they had him sitting at a table. But usually those type of tables are out near the elevator. Some of you making excuses to why some of y'all don't have common sense, and you think I don't have any common sense. Let me say this to you people. When I know what domestic violence is, I know what domestic violence is. For one thing, the DA and shit, they do not prosecute really for domestic violence, and even then the men don't stay in jail for that long. And even putting the men in jail, they up in there just festering to come out and still try to whoop your ass. No therapy, no nothing can help men, especially men who like to kick ass. And I was just explaining to my spiritual constituents, I said, look, I can look at him and I can tell what type of ass kicking nigga he is. He is the type that blank out and turn into a different type of entity, and he snaps and he will kill you. He grabs in your neck and whoops that ass, and he will not stop. And 100 to 99 to 100, those men have big issues with women and have a hatred and nastiness towards women at any means necessary. My father was a pimp, but I have never seen in front of me him do something to my mom, meaning as in domestic violence. I heard it from my brother and them and my cousin, and I was like, I never seen that. But usually it does a trickle down effect. The person who I used to see whoop up on women was my brother, the Aries. He whooped up on every fucking woman that he was with. He even put them in positions of death. I came home one day because my nephew's mother used to live with us. I came home one day and I didn't know what was going on, and he was looking at me. He was fixing the vacuum cleaner. And I was like, and I could pick up an energy in the house. I said, what's wrong? I go look on the couch. I see her, and she was holding her mouth. And I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm talking to her. And she started crying, and she moved her mouth, and the blood was gushing out from her mouth, from her lip. I said, oh. I said, what happened? He threw the vacuum cleaner and bopped her in the mouth. And he physically picked it up and hit her in the mouth. He would harass her. And you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. He did this to all of them. Shit, me and him got into it. I got socked in the eye. I had a black eye. And I was wearing sunglasses to work, and one of my coworkers said, what's up with your eye? And I told them what happened, and they was like, My ex-boyfriend, he didn't like that me and him was having an argument. We was having an argument. And I'm like, and that nigga came up to me and pip slapped the fuck out of me. I said, oh, what the fuck? Don't tell me about these envious, hateful ass, creepy ass men out here who doing that weak ass shit. Then here's my kid's father. I said, God damn. Where'd I? And he was a whole illusion. I would never have thought. He was nice. He was cool. He was chill. He was just a cool ass person. Until I had that baby. And he got jealous. When we were dating, he was cool. He was fine. I didn't see shit in him. You know, because sometimes people say, oh, no. He cut up after I had my son. And that's when he commenced. That's when we was fighting. And you'll say, well, why didn't you fight? I fought my ass? And the harder I fought, the harder he hit. And something was like, what? I didn't tell my brothers. They didn't know. I didn't want them. I was taking up. I didn't want them to know. I was too embarrassed. Until my brothers started peeping and confronted him and was like, because I was protecting him. Because I knew that Aries brother, hypocrite, but he didn't give a fuck. He was like, but I'm not going to let the next motherfucker. Because that brother, that Aries brother, shot at the other one who tried it. All I heard was, drrrr. I was like, oh, he didn't give a fuck. And I knew if I told that one, my kid's father was going to get the same energy. And not only him, my older brother, he was like, the fuck? What's going on here? We protect these men. And when I look back at the old me, I said, so I'm not going to let anybody tell me nothing about domestic violence. Stop making excuses for this shit. That girl was sold to that man. And that is none of our business what the fuck was going on. Because that was a business deal. Because I'm not going to sit up here and keep playing games with this shit. And he had been who he is. He had been abusing. He had been... Alicia Keys, you don't think she getting her ass kicked? You guys, some of you people love to emulate and talk about Marilyn Monroe. You didn't think she was getting her ass kicked? Dorothy Dandridge was getting her ass kicked. Now let's talk about some of these entertainment lesbians that kick ass. So why are we so distracted with this? The fucked up thing about it is she got paid. But there is a biasness that's dealing with race, color, and ethnicity. And you guys and the media blew this whole thing up because she's Asian. And that's a black male. And like I said, when it comes up to domestic violence and what he did, they ain't gonna do shit with that. Ain't nothing. He already paid that girl, and it's what it is with him. So why are we gonna keep going around in circles and being distracted? This is such a distraction that I'm wondering what the fuck they hiding. What the fuck is about to happen? On real motherfucking shit. What is about to happen that we so fucking distracted with this shit right here? We were distracted with that AOC shit, with her talk about that she's a was it a butch whatever. So much so that you have white women. Somebody, oh, those are nice lashes. That happened to me yesterday. Oh, I love your lashes. I said, yeah, just as long as I don't fly away, huh? And my son was appalled of me. Distraction. There's different laws right now being passed underneath you. And you're being distracted over a Filipino woman and flying lashes. A man who made a video a minute ago and she's already been paid off. In my case, with my kid's father, he had to leave this earth. My brother, he had to leave this earth. They have to account for that shit. Spirit always wins. But this shit right here is a ritual. Because the same frequency, since you guys want to talk Kim Porter and all that, look at the whole energies. Like, okay, so what's up? Kim dead. They've been saying she was getting her ass kicked. And they was talking about Misa was getting her ass kicked. We don't have questions for Jennifer Lopez. Is he a handler? He was over there. He was fucking with Chris Shine. How come all them people, all them niggas that got something to say about him now, knowing they all was kicking ass? They was talking about Fat Joe was whooping up on Remy Ma, allegedly. They was talking about Big Pun was whooping up on his wife and shit. Stop being distracted under this witchery, witchcraft, and spell work. Stop playing with these people with this shit. I was telling somebody today, I said, you know, all this shit have been going on. You don't think Jaguar Wright was getting her ass kicked? You got kids that was enacting, they were getting their ass kicked. It's a grooming. If you beat somebody's ass, you can control them. Beating ass is controlling. You may think that man gives a fuck about you and you tell him about your past. That nigga using your trauma against you and will beat your ass like the first one, even worse. The girl that my kid's father dated told him she got out of a domestic violence frequency. And he promised her he would never hit her. He would treat her right. that nigga treated her even worse and beat her ass too, just like the other man did. And I told her, I said, I could have told you. I said, because I told my kid's father what I used to go through with the person I was dating. And he was like, oh no, that's not cool. I would never do that. Shit. People sit up here and use trauma against you to fuck you up. I was just telling one of my spirit constituents that her own family member used her sexual abuse trauma against her to trick her into doing cocaine. I told you, men are envious and jealous. And these women who call themselves dykes, lesbian, butch, whatever they want to call themselves, are just as bad. Do you know how many fucking lesbian fights I've seen that are brutal and vicious and nasty, and they worse than men? Do you know in the 90s, Generation X went through hell of this shit? Do you know how many girls that I know would get socked up and talking about, well, at least my man give me money, he good to me, and they got black eyes? Generation X females good for it. That's why we ain't got time for you millennials and Gen Zs with your fucking shit. Because Generation X females will get sock 'em up. Our ancestors before us got sock 'em up. But I'm going to talk Generation X because that's what I am. How many females I used to, grow up with, sock 'em up. Later boomers, sock 'em up. I'm doing a video. Can you come back? Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Thank you. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm not about to play games with this. That's why I said Generation Next, stop fucking around with us. That's why when I get interesting shit in my comments, and shit you can tell me to do. You don't know what the fuck I've went through. Man, I was just telling someone about neo soul. I said, Tubi is nothing but the new neo soul. And he was like, wait a minute, what? I said, yeah. I said, remember how they just popped out with neo soul music? And we didn't know where these people came from, but all along they were groomed and they have them coming out. And I said, we got this new Tubi ass shit. Texas, Detroit, Atlanta. Making strippers into actresses and hoes and I'm like, it's like somebody teaching these people how to act and all of this shit. I said, oh, Tubi is the new neo soul. Because they are just as interesting as the motherfuckers who are in the neo soul. And a lot of them motherfuckers, them females was getting their ass kicked, and so were the men. Because when hip hop and all that stuff and rap came out, we didn't peep that a lot of them females were getting their ass kicked. Isn't that what Miss Elliott and shit and them were talking about? Every time something rolls out, especially with black people, it's always some kind of abuse and whoop ass. This shit right here. When we talk trans people, that hypersexual frequency, I was telling someone, hey, these are not old school church gay men. These are hypersexual motherfuckers out here who have a certain mental capacity. Everything is about harm, abuse, and friction. So I just kind of wanted to look at this Puff Daddy apology in a whole different perspective and how people be thinking. And how you're so distracted. I'm more concerned what the fuck is about to happen. Anyway, this is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.